right, another edition with Hell Media. It's the David Key Podcast. We're at Key Body Studios. I'm on my way down to get, I'm going to say it, one of my favorite Buckeyes. Yes, Wolverines have favorite Buckeyes. Mr. Curtis Grant. He was the captain of the 2012 National Championship team. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of interesting things to say, particularly about his career and about the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. You mentioned on the way in, nice and early, on a Sunday morning, you decided to dedicate your time to mentoring. Share a little bit about that. That's an element. I know you mentor cats. You got plenty of advice to give to these youngins out here, but specifically the mentoring that you are doing today. Talk about that a little bit.
Today, well, first of all, thanks, Dave, for having me.
Absolutely.
I still got my child support papers for you and last name change for you.
Yeah, we're convinced that we're convinced
we're related. So I might as well add a hyphen and put Grant Key on the back of Key Grant. I like Key Grant, you know what I mean? It's a little bit better.
That sounds good.
But this morning, thanks for having me once again, and it's a pleasure. Beautiful spot, beautiful location. You talk about mentorship. I do have a couple people that I tend to mentor, sometimes not on a financial side, but just giving people some type of knowledge to just try to help them get better about their day.
Absolutely.
And it just happened to be one of our family friends this morning, just talking about life, just feeling overwhelmed and not really understanding that she's working harder instead of smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in life we think we're doing something, we have it planned out, and we've been programmed to think that, hey, if I do more, I'm actually getting more financially, instead of just sitting back and just say, hey, let me change my perspective and see exactly, like, am I really getting the financial gains, or am I actually wasting time? Just spending time.
Exactly.
And the most valuable thing that we have in this life is time. It's not really the financial piece. That's the currency, the real currency that we have.
Exactly.
The real currency that we have is time, and putting everything in a order that we can understand, that's going to help us prepare us through day in and day out.
Yes, sir.
And so, I was just helping her. She's like, I got 4 jobs. I'm like, you have 4 jobs? I'm like, what are you doing? Let's unpack what you're doing. And she started telling me. I was like, well, you can go ahead and cut that one. Because now if you cut that one, then you got time to go over here and do that. Because if you think you're getting money here, you on that 30s, next 60, already spent that money 3-4 times.
Exactly.
So it doesn't even make sense.
People need that. And honestly, one of my motivations when we sat down and started talking about podcasts, what we want to do for it, I made a short list of people that I want to interview. One of the main reasons I wanted to get you on camera, do your interview, as you know, we've been working together for a little more than a year.
It's a year. Actually, it's a year this month. Right?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because we started.
Hey, happy anniversary.
I appreciate it. It's been a year.
We've been training for a year, and naturally, one of the things that me and Kurt noticed off the rip, that we are pretty much cut from the same cloth.
Right.
Super familiar. I feel like I've known this guy all of my life, and one of the reasons I wanted to catch you in a video setting, in a podcast setting, I'm sure this probably won't be our last. Many of the conversations that we have that resonate with me, we can't continue those. I got a session coming next, or we're in business atmosphere. For me, I can't really let go and say some of the things I want to say, or we're on a time limit, stuff like that. One of the things that commonly happens when we start chopping it up, people start gathering around just to see what we're talking about. And I know they're picking up nuggets, and I want to make sure that we put you in a setting where, hey, oftentimes, as you know, there are folks out there that we don't know that are listening to us, that are watching us move, that are getting influenced by the things that we do. Here's that opportunity where we can put it out there in the mass and be able to help some folks that need to hear some of the messages and some of the words that we've been responding to or going back and forth on. One of those main ones, man. We talk about work ethic, what it takes to be successful. When did you know that you were going to be successful athletically?
That's a great question. It started when I was little. I've just always been one of those people that when I set aside my goals and my plans, I always execute.
Mm.
I've always kind of been like kind of a loner when it came to being successful. And what I mean by that is once I set my goals out, there's nothing that anybody else that was going, my mom, dad, nothing was going to interfere with my goals. Like I'm one of those goal-driven people. Once I set aside my goals that I want to get them, I'm going to get them. I'm not one of those cats that's going to be like, hey, this variable, that variable, I don't want to hear it. Look, this is what I set out to do, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I think it started off when I was a kid. You know, my dad started playing football with me. He introduced me to football. I got pictures of me in a football Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, and he's tossing the ball back and forth with me, and he's helping me build my confidence. My dad was probably about 6'4", 270, big guy. So he would take me out in the yard, and he would just let me tackle him as hard as I could. But me, I thought I was stronger than what he was, but I didn't realize now that I'm an adult, he was just building my confidence. So he was just showing me different things. And it started from that, just doing the stuff with my dad. And then I would go to the country and spend time with my grandparents. And I would just learn how to cut grass and be out in the garden and selling vegetables. I come back, my dad like, hey, that's a chainsaw. I'm like, yeah, I know that. I know how to. He'd watch me use a chainsaw. I'm 8, 9 years old. So you know, all these intangibles that, you know, I'm getting from my father, my grandparents, my grandmother, and all this stuff. So I'm not even, as an adult, like me talking about this now, I'm putting things in my perspective. They were building me up for life.
Sure.
So I never forget, and I'm just gonna fast forward. See, that started, and I started cutting grass around the neighborhood at 8, 9 years old. I started making money early. I'm cutting grass. I'm on my own ride more. I'm weed trimming, cutting down trees, planting flowers, selling vegetables to the nearby neighbors and stuff. And they taught me how to. I was even driving a car at 10 in the country. My grandpa sitting in the yard. I'm driving down the street in a full-blown car, 10, 11 years old. He's just sitting across the street. I go across the street, let me drive. So all these stuff that I'm learning. My mom put me on her lap, then I'm driving, you know, all that stuff. And I never forget that we're on the way to a summer workout. I'll never forget to this day. I can tell you where we was on Perham Road, right across the street, like by a storage facility. Me and my mom, we're chopping it up. We're talking back and forth. And my mom's like, hey, somehow we got on the college subject. I don't remember how we got on the college subject.
Yeah, we'll turn that TV.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, somehow we got on the college subject, and she was like, you know, I haven't saved any money. We haven't saved any money for you to go to school. And it's a shocker to me because I think my mom rich, my dad rich, I'm thinking my grandparents rich. And my grandma got one of the biggest houses on the street. So I'm like, oh, we loaded. What you mean we ain't got no money to go to school? Come to find out, she's like, no, we have funds, but we just don't have that type of money. So in my mind, I'm like, once again, okay, I set out my goals. That's what I was gonna do. So at that time back then, there was a guy named Macho Harris. They call him Victor Harris. He went to Holly Springs.
Okay.
So he was like a top player in the country. Macho was cold. He was one of he was like a Percy Harvin, but wasn't Percy.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was cold. Anytime he got the ball in his hand, he was he was like that. So his highlights would come on TV, and I said, Mom, that's gonna be me one day. He was like top player in the country. She's like, okay, Dad, like, you know, Dad's still like, whatever, you know, Dad, like, man, you gonna show me. You gonna show me. So I go through JV balling, start getting some varsity reps, start playing. They started bringing me up to practice with the varsity. You know, that last game of the season, you know, usually coaches bring all their JV players up. Right. They might get some burn if we beat. Usually we playing somebody at the end of the season that's terrible.
Exactly.
I was supposed to get in the game. Didn't get in the game. So my dad is trying to convince me not to play varsity football because all these cats are way bigger than me, way older. I'm 14 at the time. Everybody else has been lifting weights for years. I've just always been naturally big and strong. So long story short, we get ready for our first round of playoffs. Now my dad is seeing this jersey on the couch because I always lay my jersey out. And he's like, man, I know your season over, And I used to be like, no, I'm the water boy. You know what I'm saying? I used to get the jersey just to be the water boy on the side.
Right.
But I'm actually playing varsity.
Okay.
He don't even know.
know.
I'm practicing with varsity. He don't even know. Because he's like, man, them cats way bigger than you, dog. Like, you got to watch out. But I'm like, I ain't worried about none of that.
Right. Not especially today.
So now I'm throwing the jersey on the back. Now I went from number 49 to number 14. Boom.
Okay.
So he's looking at the jersey, like, what's going on? I say, look, I told my people, there's this possibility I'm going to be playing now. Highland Springs loaded. It's the East versus West End.
All right.
They got Division I across the board.
Okay.
This guy going to Tech. This guy going to University of Richmond. This guy going to Kent State. He going here. He going there. Okay. Virginia Tech. They got like 6 players on offense. That's
D1. Yeah.
Tight end 6'5", 240. This guy 6'4". You know, high school.
Right.
Starting quarterback 6'6". Matt Hurdle. JJ Spate probably run 4'3", 4'4".
Yeah. I'm recognizing these names.
Okay. So look. Now they before the game even starts, like it's so many people at this game, Dave. Like they in their all black unis and they getting police escorted in.
Okay.
So they trying to make a scene. So that band is like an HBCU band.
All right.
So the linebacker that's in front of me, he's already getting recruited because he's a year older than me, but he has shoulder problems.
Okay.
So they was like, Curtis, possibility you're gonna get in the game. Now, mind you, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared to death. So now, but I'm putting it all in perspective. Mom's just like, yo, we ain't got no money for you to go to school. What else? I want to go to the league. I don't know nothing else to do. I'm training. I'm listening. I'm getting the reps. I'm practicing hard. And you know, all the older guys would talk trash to me during practice because I was a trash talker. Sometimes I talked a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? But I backed it up, though. So the guy, he gets in the game, boom, hits his shoulder. They like, Curtis, you win. I said, oh shit. like, not realizing like this my moment.
Exactly.
Coach get me in, he blitzed me, boom. Make a play, boy. I think I got my first sack.
Okay. Yeah. Right off the rip.
Boom. Send another play, like make another like tackles for a loss. So long story short, I'm balling.
Okay.
I'm talking balling. And I thought I was gonna get player of the game. That's how crazy I played. So I think I had like 6 to 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, and like 1 or 2 sacks.
Okay, yeah.
I never forget it. And we ended up winning the ball. I mean, we tied the game. We were down. We ended up winning the ball game. Quarterback checked the play that coach had called. Sent the runner, ran slants, and then sent the running back out the backfield on the wheel route. Then we ended up winning the game that way.
Okay. Man, okay. Yeah.
We had balled out so crazy, and that was my first game. I did not know what God was creating. I didn't even know what my mom and the people that I've been around was instilling in me.
Right.
To become this football player.
It came to that bottleneck.
Yeah, it came down to the bottleneck. So I get home and my dad he looks at me. He got to go to work the next day. He's crying. My dad never cried. Like you talking about macho man. Like my dad swore up and down I was the softest thing in the world. But he saw me play, and I was all in the newspaper the next day. And from that day on, it was just every game I just got better, better. But a lot of times, to be honest with you, since I was so much younger, and to be honest with you, I played like that because I was scared. I didn't want to get hit, you know. Like everybody else, 10 times bigger than me. I was a big dude, but I was
young,
200.
Okay.
And we talking about cats that's really out here doing it. And I don't even know how good I really am. I'm just out here just having fun. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's when it really came to me to put it in perspective.
That is, I've always had a feeling just success is contagious.
Yeah.
Especially when you catch it by surprise.
Yeah.
And then you start to instill that. I love the story. Just you talking about just all those things. Very familiar story. And I know you've chopped it up with 1,001 athletes just like I have. Everybody has those common denominator stories.
Yeah.
And it just always amazed me. One of the common denominator stories that I rest upon is I say that every athlete that's experienced some success has one point in time where they made a conscious decision that they were going to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like that is the point where you're like, okay, if that light comes on and maybe I can actually do this thing? Or is there another time where you felt that experience?
Well, no, so I've always been good in football.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked to hit. Like I'm one from my old school era watching it. Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. The Steelers, the Steel Curtain. When cats, Ryan Clark and them hitting, James Ferry and all them guys hitting, that's what I grew up on. That's what I love to do. So it was when I was playing against cats my age, like I was cool. Don't nobody worry about that. I'm gonna smoke you, bro.
Right.
I want your mama to come out here
I wanted
to rescue you. Yeah, I wanted to come out. That's what I grew up watching. I love every bit of running into people, hitting people with aggressive. Like, and we all know I'm probably a little thrown off just due to the fact that I like doing crazy stuff like that.
You know, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Surely you're reflecting upon the physicality of the game. I'm cut from that cloth. Love the contact.
Right.
Love getting out there when it's days like today was raining, drizzly, don't nobody want to practice. Boom! I was always that dude that wanted to get it going. One of the things we've reflected on a little bit in some of our conversations, chopping it up, is how you got to be a little bit off just to be able to participate in football. One of the things that I say is that there's a certain attitude that you got to take on when you're playing the game. I think that it's problematic sometimes that some people get off the field and they can't turn that off. I know I've had some of those experiences. Have you had some of those experiences where your intensity for the game carried over into another place, or felt like the edge that you have in athletics, how that's helped you or heck harmed you in some cases?
I mean, man, it's helped me business wise to be able to get in and never quit and to be able to continue to keep problem solving. But I would say, like, as we talk about, I think us at an early age, especially in the Black community, we see that as we praise that mentality on more so the entertainment aspect instead of teaching our kids how to navigate with that type of mentality and mindset. And people don't understand how big that is. And the reason I say that because you get praised for it when you're younger. Oh, that's just such and such. They're really good at that. But that's how we're getting our anger out. But we're really crying for help. Okay. So, and essentially, now that I'm an adult, I done been that attitude and got me almost killed by cops. Okay. That attitude and almost got me killing my own self. That attitude and almost caused me to drink a lot. And it's really the reasons why is because for so long I suppressed that mentality and I got to show it on the field. But now that I'm an adult, I can't act like that no more. And even now at the age of 32, I still have that problem sometimes. Like some days I can't go out in public. I got to go to the house and just chill because the wrong little thing will set me off. So I'm thankful for the sport, but even with my kids now, my older son plays, but I see a difference between my older son and my younger son. I don't know if it's because my younger son's with me all the time, but my older son's a lot more calm, cool, collective, like still a cool guy in the class. He gonna play the sports, but it's not really, if he don't get it, it don't matter. He's just like, bro, should we go do something else? But my other, he's like, I'm getting it. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you got my mentality. So now it's not a bad thing, but I gotta show you how to channel that energy, because if not, you're gonna end up like me. And what it really boils down to is I've been suppressing anger, and I've been able to show it through intensity of sports. But now that I can't show it that way, because the real world don't operate like that. You might not get an email back the same day. You might not hear from this person. You might not hear from this person 5-6 months. Hey, let's close the deal. And you're like, what, how? But you got to operate like that. But in sports, it's not like that. Like everything is high demand right now on the spot. But we never, as kids, get a chance And I say the black community because that's all I know.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about my kids. My mom's black. My wife's black. I don't know any other community.
Right.
So I can talk about my community, but we praise that attitude. But then essentially, it hurts our young beings because we don't give them no outlet and we don't show them no other way to be besides being aggressive. Like you look on sport, everybody that boxes is either black or Mexican. You don't really see white guys boxing. You know what I'm saying? Or and even on the football team, everybody's playing football damn near 85, 90%.
Yeah.
It's entertainment business. So we're
Right.
still doing the same old stuff we did years ago to create money, and we're not. And we talk about mental health, but we're already messed up. CTE just ain't start because you just started, bro. You already messed up if you want to play the game of football, bro.
If you play
Hockey too, like any of them overly physical sports like that, it has nothing to do if you a soft male or masculine male, beta male. That has nothing to do with it, bro. Like you're wired different.
Yeah.
Even the people that are Navy SEALs and stuff, those people that's out there shooting, killing, and running around, bro, you're different.
It's interesting how we don't get a feel for that until you get out of regular society.
Right.
Just doing mentoring with young trainers, one of the things that I reflect on in literally my first week in the industry. We used to conditioning with guys that are intense, that are motivated, stuff like that. Somehow I thought I was going to take that and transfer that to the public, not having an understanding. Not everybody wired that way, or want to put in that kind of work, or have that kind of intensity. It is you almost from a societal standpoint get to a place where you've got to water that down or understand the difference, like I talked about, that turn it on, turn it off. One of the things we were finding is that with CTE, unfortunately, every now and again, an 18-year-old may die in a car accident. Maybe they play football 2 or 3 years. They do an autopsy on them. They've already got advanced stages of CTE. You played football from grade school all the way through 3 years in the pro. That's easily 12, 13 years, if my math is right.
6. I started hitting when I was 8.
Okay.
So I was 8 to about 23,
okay.
24.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Of course, in the news, we got a young man that took his own life after being on an accolade of scoring his first touchdown.
I watched it.
Bro.
I watched it.
Watched the game. Reflect a little bit just on, obviously some new studies are coming out. We're getting new information, but just how that navigation has been for you, and just knowing that obviously you can't diagnose a person until they're already gone. But we also know that any one of us has played any level of time surely has some symptoms of it. I know I've got my issues with it, and have been on a track to try to navigate it. How have you recognized that and try to navigate it? Or even, reflecting upon, the number of guys that we know that have committed suicide, former teammates, guys that we played with in the pros. It's a heavy burden to carry, especially knowing that they are affected by some of the same things you're affected. Share some of your thoughts on CTE. And
this gonna sound crazy, but I'm on my fast. If you know anybody know better than me and you locked in, So, and the stuff that I think about, like when we talk about CTE, man, you can't tell me that I got CTE, and then you can't tell me that my brain don't fully develop till I'm 25. That don't make sense. I hate to tell you that. I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say nothing. I mean what I say and say what I mean.
Okay.
You can't tell me that my brain is fully underdeveloped and I'm not able to comprehend and stuff that and understand who I am until I'm 25. Then tell me I got CTE. I think it's like we talk about. A lot of this stuff is from lack of understanding. So, prime example, you see a kid, he's rowdy, and you choose not to approach that kid and not mentor that kid or give the kid that the support that he needs to help build him or her up. What do you think they're gonna act like?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're not strengthening them on the mental side of things, but you're praising them on the other side of things, now this kid is suppressing all this energy, and now they're using this to either 1, fit in, or 2, to play a sport. So now you talk about CTE. Is it really CTE, or is it lack of understanding?
Okay.
that's my point of view on it,
Okay.
because you can't say that, hey, a lot of these kids and stuff, well, you just told me my brain don't fully develop until I'm 25 and over, and you wonder why people are doing dumb stuff. But I think that comes from the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding, the lack of having dominion over people's lives.
Okay.
They have no boundaries.
Mm.
If you let people do whatever they want to do, and sometimes, you're going to have the people that fall through the cracks, but let's be honest, nobody's teaching athletes, bro. Once you see that one kid that's doing Lil Johnny or Bobo running the ball, and you're not teaching them you're not trying to help his mental until you start seeing him doing some dumb stuff. Now he hanging out with this person, smoking weed, he drinking. Now he driving the car real fast. But a lot of that stuff come from entitlement.
Well, right.
Am I lying, OG? Right. So let's really see what it really is, because like I said, yes, we're playing sports, and yes, I think maybe you might have CTE, but I think it's a lot of time from the lack of the brain development, if we really gonna go by the science.
Yeah, true that. We absolutely know that you get a big hit, you get concussed. We got the tests that show where your benchmarks are, how you get back to square one. Now, we see a guy get head-to-head contact. I think that they have taken all the appropriate steps to make sure they're keeping the game safe.
Right.
You can't practice, you can't have contact, or because maybe your brain's not quite right yet until we get back to that same benchmark. But you sure got to go in Monday and take that test.
Right.
You sure expected to get them studies down. Wait a minute, time out. I thought y'all said my brain wasn't right. Ain't that going to have an effect upon my grades and my studies? All right, so that, to me, that's a conversation that that football in general don't want to have.
It don't make sense.
And, of course, with some of the lawsuits and things like that going on, where if they had that information, I personally do not think that they did. If they had that information and suppressed it in order to put a product on the field, obviously that's problematic. Right? But, obviously the brain is a complex tool, and more neural connections than there are stars in the universe. So for any person, I get it what you're saying, that to have to say that they've got a full understanding of how things work, that can't be the case.
It can be.
But when we look at hard measurements like decreased size of your frontal lobe, which is where you make all your decisions, and take what's my man's name, that triple murder, triple homicide, Eric Hernandez is a good example. 26 years old, they do a autopsy on him, has 1/3 the size of a frontal lobe. Now you talking about a cat that was smoking primos going to practice, who obviously killed 3 people.
Right.
That mental, it surely had an effect. Now, do you think that came from bad decision making, bad check-ins? Here's a guy with a history, with a past, or do you think that more of that effect came from his brain chemistry and from playing the game?
See, for me, like, we're performing a hypothesis of what if.
Okay.
So for me, I like to deal with the facts. I never really dialed into that, because I think a lot of stuff that they were doing with that Hernandez situation, it was a little bit too all over the place for me. Even that little Netflix thing that came out talking about, because I know some people that actually know Aaron Hernandez and their story, and they was like, bro, that never happened. So I'm like, and they're great sources.
Okay,
So I'm like, okay, so what was the whole point of the whole Aaron Hernandez situation? Now, can we look at it? Now, I know he was different. I heard about the stuff that he used to do in the locker room and stuff like that. But then once again, I also know another grown man that used to act like that, and it's a 6-time Super Bowl champion. They talk about that was crazy as all get out, Charles Haley. So I know Charles. So I know Charles. I've been around Charles. Charles is a wild dude. And even watching him on that Cowboys series, I'm like, but in that play, was that CTE or was he depressed? Is it CTE and depressed, or they are one and the same, or was that just him? So it was Aaron Hernandez. Was he really a gangbanger he brought up, and somebody just happened to put him in sports, and the sports was his outlet to give him an opportunity to get away from that stuff? Or was the brain. See, like when I get into stuff like that, like it's not really factual for me. It's like a whole bunch of opinions on what if, because I don't want to judge this guy was a really good football player, and I don't know him like that. So therefore, I'm judging and putting my opinion on him, and I don't like to do that because I hate when people do that about me and give me a bad perception, and you don't even know me. And so, if he really was doing that, I think that started from a young age. Like he probably had no guidance, and a lot of times we know when young males don't have guidance and they want to feel, or anybody, they want to fit in, they go join all these organizations, sometimes court organizations or really good organizations that are trying to progress in positivity.
Just want to find some love and camaraderie somewhere.
Just trying so they don't feel left out.
Exactly.
So people do it with church, people do it with fraternities, people do it with gangs, like people do it with sports. I mean, it's just all about what you want to fit in at the time. I think, but to speak on that man's life like that, I don't know. I don't have all the facts. Maybe he was, but I know that even for me, speaking for myself, that as an adult, I realized that my moods were changing too much as a youngin'. You know, out there, like one day I want to talk, and the next day I'm just quiet. Then I go mute for like 3 days. And in high school, even my high school girlfriend, she would notice that. She would be like, "What's wrong?" I can't explain it to you. But now that I'm an adult and I'm doing therapy, I might have some type of bipolar disorder. I might have a chemical imbalance somewhere along the line. I know my dad dealt with it, but in my household, it was told that the demons were after him, and it's like, no, my daddy really messed up. Like he needs some. He needs
a lot of undiagnosed stuff that goes on in our communities, and surely it's funny enough, man. We are just really, I think, as a community, and I'm talking specifically of the Black community, getting to a place where we're even willing to have those conversations. I mean, as you know, when we were kids, there wasn't nobody talking about going to a psychologist or any of the likes. I suck it up and just a little bit down, a little gray, or you were taught just to not even express those things. And it surely, one of the arguments I make that Black males never get an opportunity to actually be a kid.
That's taken away from early.
Just the stressors of society that only we somewhat understand are put on you in a way that you almost have to be an adult figure when you're out there in the public, because that's the way you're going to be treated by people that are outside of your community that don't understand. You're 14, you're 13-year-old, you're thinking just like another 13-year-old, but that somehow that layer of empathy has been removed for 1,001 reasons. We could do a whole different podcast on that individually.
Where people, like, when people get a perception of someone, we've talked about.
Well, even like experiment, like the Stanford experiment. There are 100 of them out there where once you staple somebody with a definition and you stick to that and you operate on that, they start to become that. For me, I would say people who are unaware of how those things have an effect on you, absolutely. If you call a kid bad and a criminal, or one of the things I reflect upon commonly, being able to, at 8, 9 years old, crossing the street and you hear everybody hitting their power locks. Get on the elevator, lady, grab her purse. I ain't trying to steal from you. But that's people's perception. And when that's cast at you constantly, you start to think a little bit differently. And most people don't have an understanding of, number one, how that feels, how you operate with it. Just even to be able to bring that into your conscious mind and have an understanding for how that can manipulate you to be in a funny kind of way.
Well, you think about, let's take it back. Let's take it back, since we're gonna have a real conversation. Let's take it back to, is it called predictive programming?
Yeah,
some programming.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think about like my grandfather. Now my grandfather was so light skinned that he looked white.
Okay.
Because I don't know for a fact, but they said my grandma was a Blackfoot Indian. You know, Black folks, we always claim, of course, we some type of right. Then you know what I mean? And then the next thing you know, you go do your blood test.
Right.
You European, you from Spain. Ain't no goddamn American. But I think about the times where he quit school. I think both my grandparents quit. One of my grandfathers was dark skinned and the other one was super light.
Mm.
He tells me, he used to tell us like how he quit school because he would get spit on the daily, getting rocks and stuff thrown at him getting called nigga and stuff on the way to school. And I'm talking about this guy, super light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With
right.
silky jet black hair.
Okay.
And I think about, you go back into history about how the black person is perceived, right? And we're always perceived as being overly aggressive, always angry. Like nobody ever looks at us in a dark light. Look at all our entertainment stuff. Everything we do is over masculine, everything has to be super physical. Like we don't show the guys like that are even in the basketball ring when they beating up each other, bang bang. They don't praise the shooting the threes. They always show the fighting and stuff, but they never really show us in a good light. Everything that we do, anytime we get on the news, propaganda. 6'2" black male just shot up this person. He robbed this person. This, that, and the third. But then you rarely see a white guy or a Spanish guy or an Asian guy on the TV, and it's just so much crime everywhere else. But for some reason, the black community gets shunned in a smaller weird. Like even now, I remember being on Ohio State campus with a full blown Ohio State hoodie on, walking to class, me and my teammates. All you is beep 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 beep, and it's like, damn, like y'all really think of us like that? And it's like, I actually ran into somebody. This is no lie. I used to ride motorcycles a lot, and you could tell that the guys weren't used to being around black folks. And it's okay, cool. Everybody's not cultured. Right. And it's fine. And usually when you hang with people that look like you, that's just natural. That's the way the world has been created, divide and conquer. It's been like that for forever. Right. We got all this stuff that's an illusion that people don't want to see it because they keep watching the television. People don't believe what they hear, they believe what they see. So when you start putting all these movies on, it's aggressive black people and this, that, and the third. And he walked up and he said, "Man, you guys are pretty cool." And I was like, "What do you mean by you guys?"
He was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, in Virginia, we know where we stand. Like, if you're over there, you're going to stay over there. And if you come over here with that, we're going to really be with you. If you come over here like that, because we're going to get down with you, because we're not scared of that.
Right.
But he was like, "Yeah, you guys are pretty cool." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He's like, "You're a black guy." And I was like, "Why? What does my skin color have anything to do with me being cool?" He was like, "Well, man, I said, you're trying to say that you watch a lot of stuff on TV that have you thinking that the imagery of me, every black guy that you gonna meet gonna be super aggressive, mean, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah." Same thing with us. Black people have been programmed to think every white person that we meet is gonna be racist. And that's not true. Like, you only know what you're taught. And if you're still teaching that in the household, then hey, but you can't help it. Even now, I'm scared of police officers. Why? Because I'm watching people get shot on TV, videos, and I'm like, man, I don't believe in none of that stuff. But subconsciously, because I done watched it so many times, I'm like, well, I can't go over there. It's too white. And it's like, no, that's just that place got good pizza. Like, I want some pizza. I heard they got some good pizza. Like, you know what I mean? So that programming that we had here, you see it. It's not, because I can tell you something till you blue in the face. You know what I mean? But once you start seeing stuff, and it's happened time after time, on repetition, like how we lift weights, man. Then it starts to get in your brain, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I should do that.
Right. Of course, man.
And it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't create a certain reality that, from a racial standpoint, that I think we need to escape. That's that's a whole other.
We can get on.
We're gonna do that one. We're gonna do that one.
Matter of fact,
now, in full disclosure for the audience, I got a show next week. Kurt is on a journey, so we both fasted right now, and otherwise we would surely be here with some bourbon and some cigars. Sitting down chopping. That episode's coming. I mean,
That's after December. That's
the December episode. There we go. But moving on, man, and changing the subject a little bit. Let's talk, a little bit about, we commonly talk about mentoring, man. One of the things that I love, and I'm sure you can reflect on this too, man. When I look back over my life and the number of people great people that you've come in contact with through sports or through business, and the way that they've had positive influence on your life. Surely any athlete that I've ever had, they got a long list of cats. And I think that is surely something that has helped a lot of people with their success. I've heard you talk about, oh my goodness, what's the rating?
Antonio Pierce.
I've heard you reflect upon Antonio Pierce being one of your mentors. Just share a little bit of your thoughts about how you feel he helped mentor you, and what was that relationship like?
He's not the only one,
Sure.
but man, my last was the Titans. The Titans, man, with Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau was a great mentor.
Yeah.
Dick LeBeau.
Yeah, man.
Brian Arapo, Wesley Woodyard, my boy Avery. I forgot Avery Williamson, David Bass. Shoot, that linebacker room. All of us. Sean Spencer from Miami. Who else was in that room that was older than me? That was really. So it really started at the Titans first.
Okay.
Being around that Steelers, them guys, man. Nate Palmer, all those guys. I came in. I actually made that team. It's crazy because I got a phone call that the Titans were going to be at the facility, and I jumped in the workout, made the team just off the humbug.
Okay. It was like the Ohio State team workout.
Yeah. They was coming in to train Josh Perry and Darren Lee, and I just got an invite, made the team. It was crazy, craziest thing ever. But when I went out there, usually all the other teams, man, nobody really wanted to you're a free agent. If you ain't really drafted, you know how it be. They don't really want to fool with you. Like, all right. If you make team, we'll talk to you. If not, whatever.
Right.
But it started there. It started there, and helped me get my confidence back. I lost my confidence when I got to Ohio State, bro, so bad. It was just like I was at the lowest lows at Ohio State. It was one point like I hated Ohio State so much that I really couldn't stand it. I just didn't understand the business of it. And I finally got my love back for playing at the Titans. And then I left there. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I was just saying, you felt like all the way through college,
you need to expand on
you
that.
did not like the game.
No, I hated the game.
Wow.
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll let you talk.
Yeah,
we'll finish talking about the which one. That could be your next question.
Absolutely.
That'd be your next question. Because
I want to unpack that.
Yeah, we're gonna unpack it. So, like I said, I hated the game, and I finally got my love back playing the game with those guys because they had like a team atmosphere. Like it felt like Little League again. It wasn't. And Dick LeBeau was so confident in what he was doing that he would always call me Buckeye. He'd be like, Buckeye, you got to slow it down, man. I'd be like, I'm just trying. He said, bro, he would say, Buckeye, I know what you're doing. I know you know what you're doing, but you got to slow down. But I've been programmed to not think. Exactly. And so what he did, Dick LeBeau did something crazy for me. He said, I'm going to take the mic out your helmet. He gave it to another linebacker. When he did that, bro, you saw a whole nother player. Okay. I made one of my biggest players on Cam Newton. It was like 31. Cam rolled out. Cam a big dude. Yeah. I got this play where I'm jumping on Cam and I'm yanking him like it's kind of like a lion jumping on a big water buffalo. Yes, so it's one of the dopest moments of my life, and that's when I got my respect. Okay. That's what gave me my confidence. But then what the Titans did, they wouldn't let me play special teams. You know how that go. And when they wouldn't let you play special teams, now you ain't got no film.
The more you can do.
Yeah, the more you can do. And it's like, you can't really play special teams. Okay, cool. Go to Raiders for a week, get cut. I hated that. Oh, my God. That was the worst experience ever.
For one day or 1 week.
Why was it?
Oh, for the Raiders? Oh, because the Raiders, man, where they were located, their facilities was trash.
This is when it was in Oakland?
Oh, right out there. Right out there.
I know exactly where it is.
So we out there in Oakland, and I'm like, man, the food is terrible. Boxed eggs. People can't cook. Like, it's just, food is garbage. And I'm standing in this hotel, man, where it's ran down. It's like I was in a trap almost. And it's like, nobody really wanted to talk to you, and you just really felt like you were just a scout team player. That was it. You scout team. I got cut. I was so excited. I've never been cut. Man, I got on that plane. I was excited to come back to the crib. Got back and ended up going to the 49ers. made that team. I stayed for the year. They never let me play. I practiced. I learned a lot of stuff out there. I was out there with Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
Gerald, I know Gerald Hodges.
Ooh, that crew was
Coach JB.
Uh-huh.
They taught me a lot. So at that time I got cut, and I was like, bro, I'm done with football. Like, I'm not doing anything else. I get a call. My agent calls me. This is a crazy thing. I could have went to Kansas City, the Giants, and it was one more. It might have been the Seahawks. Was it the Seahawks? I had already went to the Seahawks. So I said, man, I'm gonna go to Jersey. My son could catch the train. My mom catch the train. They could always come see me play every weekend. Train ride probably $100, maybe if that.
Mm-hmm.
They come watch me play. I'm overweight. I ain't been working out. I can just work out, kill it, and sign me the next day. And I go through preseason and I'm balling. I'm playing special teams. I'm the leading. Once again, I was leading tackler at Tennessee. Got cut. I'm the leading tackler right now for the Giants. Balling. And AP used to come down and he'd be like, hey, bro, the more you can do. And he's like, hey, man, you're a free agent, dog. You ain't got no time to be sitting around thinking you just gonna play Mike Backer. He's like, look, the Sam down this week. Go play Sam. He would come back. I don't know what drew him to me, but he'd be like, hey, we ain't got no Will this week. Go play Will. So I would go learn all these positions. Right. So I'm the only one in the room besides, might have been, me and another guy that knew all the positions. But unfortunately, the other guy that they really liked got hurt. So, but I was the only one that was playing I mean, we playing the Browns. I done went from Sam to Mike to Will in one series of 14 plays. Now you know they similar. Oh my God! And then they calling me to give me the call to give to the linebacker because he ain't got the microphone.
He ain't got the microphone. You ain't even the Will.
I ain't even the mic. Right. I'm over here playing Sam, and it's like, well, let him call the defense. So I'm like, okay, now y'all being cool. So AP would just always coach me up. Every time he got a chance to coach me up. And then that gave me my confidence. And then I forgot the name of our special teams coach, but I did something. The crazy thing about it is I was BSing real bad. And coach cussed me out so bad. And mind you, I got signed 4 hours before a Monday night football game. Okay. I've been sitting in a hotel room, not even practice. We going to play Detroit. I ain't even practiced none of the Giants stuff. I've been practicing Detroit. I might have put a Lions jersey on at this point. And I'm sitting in the room chilling. It's like, hey, we're going to sign you. You going to play tonight. Who playing tonight? I'm playing a football game tonight? Man, y'all out y'all mind. So I get in the game, I do all right. But I'm nervous because, I mean, everybody else, they got their confidence up. I ain't have my rent. So I get in the game, I do okay. But then AP was coaching me, but then my special teams coach, he was like, man, you bullshit. We need you, and you acting like that. I've never felt wanted a day in my life. Since I left high school, the way I did that day at the New York Giants football facility. That was it. Cool. I came home. I said, oh, he really want me to play then if he just really cussed me out in front of everybody like that. So I go home and take a QB wristband. I write down all my assignments just to give me my confidence, just to calm my nerves. Boom. Write down my assignment, put it on. I got a QB. If you watch every game, I got a QB wristband. That's just to let me know so I wouldn't mess up. Because I would get dogged so bad for messing up instead of getting coached. Instead of you coaching me, you dogging me. Now, I'm conflicted because there's no gray area with me. I'm either going to be ready to fight your ass or I'm not going to listen to you at all. And a lot of times, the way I was getting talked to, I wasn't responding to that. I'm ready to fight. You see what I'm saying? So that's just me. That's what I know. Been like that my whole life. Once again, nobody corrected it as a problem as a kid. So now I transfer. Now I'm getting labeled that I'm uncoachable and I can't play this game that I've been playing my whole life. I don't have the accolades I have by not being able to play the game. It don't make sense. So get in the game. I got all this different stuff. I'm worried. I start going crazy on special teams. I'm going crazy on special teams. And then I'm starting to get some playing time at linebacker. And I'm starting every little thing. AP talking to me. He's still coaching me. I go from being the most hated person, and I guess in this guy's eyes, to, hey, you're the best person this week, Kurt. Hey, coach, that guy got 4.26 on his 40. You can handle him. The big guy right here, I need you to take him out, Kurt. He's a dominant player. I'm getting in the game. They trying to double team me now. I'm leading the team on tackles and special teams. And I think when they did our evaluation before we went home, I was number 3 in
Total tackles.
total everything for our special team.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, and I was grading out at like a 93,
Mm-hmm.
94.
Mm-hmm.
I was balling.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think somebody hit my knee in Denver. It was
Mm-hmm.
another cat. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. We was just battling. He clipped me, and he hit my knee. And I never said anything about it. I just kept playing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I had my 7 days to recover, I was good.
Mm-hmm.
But this week we did one of those
Sunday,
Thursday.
yeah.
Man, we going back to the crib.
Uh-huh.
DC, we call it, basically, that's Richmond to me.
Yeah.
My mom's coming. That's a possibility I'm going to play linebacker tonight. I done got all the work done to my body. Balling. Heating up. Boom, get pushed in the back. Tear my ACL. And then once I did that, it was like that 30 seconds of fame, it was gone. And it was like, yeah, you would talk to these guys, but they were only there for that moment. You know how I go, you in there for that moment. But AP, man, and all those other people, I appreciate them.
Yeah,
they
man.
gave me, they saved me along that journey.
Okay.
When I didn't even know who I was anymore, hey, them guys took it and poured into me, man. And
reached down and pulled you up.
Pulled me up,
man.
and I'm appreciative of that.
Absolutely. Those are good stories, man. And I love reflecting on it because everybody's journey is completely different. But anytime I sit and I talk to an athlete, you know, and regardless of where their journey has been, man, just leaning in and getting a feel as a coach. I surely would put myself in that category. You know, obviously not a football coach, but you know, a fitness coach. And being able to take a lot of those nuggets, man, and be able to give them to some other people. You see how the game is running with NIL and all things today. You know, I make an argument we was born too early.
Hey,
we
put me
back.
back.
We should be collecting some of them checks. You know, they got this new league, the UFL, that's coming out. You know, we've had some discussion. I personally think Kurt still got some stuff in the tank. Now, obviously, desire and wanting to go out there. Football is that sport that you cannot play casually. You can't just be going out there messing around. You got to be fully committed. Would you ever entertain if the UFL called you? Columbus has a team here, the Aviators, I believe they're called. They gave you a call. How would you feel about it? Would you consider going out there?
I don't know. We got a love-hate relationship. Me and football got a love-hate relationship.
Football, you got a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, we got
with
a
football.
love-hate relationship. It's not even the football.
Unpack that.
Well, it's not even the game of football. It's the people that's in the game.
Ooh. Okay.
We got all these coaches that's bullshitters. I hate to say it like that on the podcast. No, I don't hate
No.
Yeah, we on the podcast. A lot of cats can't coach. They're not personable. They don't even understand how to get the players, to bring the best out of players. And to get back into that mindset to, I don't even know. It's a lot to get back in that mindset. And I ain't been in it in 7. I still got it, but I don't think I have it like I used to have it in. The work that I've done on myself now, I don't even know if I can allow myself to get back to that mindset without it affecting my household. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one thing of doing it when you're already in it, but now you're talking about
that breaks a whole bunch of.
You talk about some.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole nother mindset. That's like, honestly, I don't know if my body will hold up because I ain't been hit like that in 7 years.
Of course, right.
I mean, it'd been cool if I was only out for like 3 or 4, but to be hit like that and to get back in this mindset, and I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I really don't know. It's not like hooping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But you talking about, because I'm an old school football player. I'm gonna always be that. I'm head hunting. I'm hitting you face to face. I want to see you suffer. I'm not changing the weight. That's how I was raised.
Yep.
All that easy tackling, no, fine. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that.
I would be fined out of my paycheck every day.
Yeah,
that's the way we learn how to play.
And then now, man, I think the most important thing is like, I think that moment's really over. I think it's time for I'm still trying to shed that skin on the daily. I think it's time for me to put the support in my kids, let them do what they want to do, and understand it. And it's like, let's be honest, man. We played the game, but the game hadn't been the game since we left high school. It's more of a business.
Yeah,
so it's like, I can go out here and potentially beat myself up trying to chase that dream, but I'm not in that 3% of top athletes anymore.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a fool. I go to the weight room and put up some crazy numbers and do all that other stuff. But far as like, I really had to outsmart the guys at this point. Learning, right? Perfect alignment, perfect assignment.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna use him to do this so I get off the block so I can go make the tackle ASAP. But as far as that, I don't.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah, I don't.
Because a lot of, as you know, a lot of cats have trouble putting that away.
Yeah.
And plus, and it does help. I mean, you're a successful businessman. You've got a lot of other things going on. Great opportunity to put in a plug for Pure Green on High Street
There you go.
in the Short North.
Almost to the short note, but we're located at 1475.
Absolutely, please.
1475.
They have a
North High Street.
lovely array of
Juices,
wonderful
smoothies,
juices,
acai,
smoothies.
Acai bowls.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, very top
Absolutely.
notch.
And surely, you know, you got a lot of those things going on. You know, some of the quote unquote ups and downs and struggles of business. How do you feel like that football focus or even having played, how does that help you navigate the business world?
The business world is a little bit more tricky because it's you're gathering a lot of data, and you have to be able to understand that your business is not really, and unless you have like a super big brand that you've bought into that's like overly successful, like Starbucks, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A's and stuff like that, Walmart, something like that. When you're putting in your groundwork, you don't really even get your right information until about 2 years. Any business that you're starting from the ground up, because you have to understand the model of one of the guys that I talked to, he calls it your avatar. You got to see who your customer, who's your customer base, because you're not really appealing to everyone. You got a certain customer, like even my business. My business, as far as Pickering, is not a male-dominant business. Right. It's women. Right. You know, like how do I attract more women into the business where they feel comfortable coming and eating, buying the product, they're bringing more women. And the guys come, they either super healthy when they come or their women drag them in. It's very rare that you get a man that's like, yeah, I just want to go into just a smoothie shop. You know, most of us, we want whole food. Like, I want a steak, I want a piece of chicken. And men are very routine based. Sure. So once we get in our routine, it's kind of like, it's kind of weird getting out of routine because I think a lot of men were superstitious. But kind of like by nature, it's like, well, if I shouldn't have did that, and that's why my day messed up. And it's like, no, that's how your day was supposed to go.
Yeah, nothing to do with getting the
that them 2 mangoes that you had did not mess up anything that you had going on for the rest of the day. But I think the one thing that sports did was give me laser-like focus on always trying to get better. So, you know, in parts of football, we get a chance to go ahead and watch film. And my wife was telling me this the other day. She was like, man, football and business same. I said, yes, to a certain extent. I said, with business, I could go look at somebody else's information, but they're in a different demographic. Like what they're doing in Chicago ain't gonna be the same thing as Columbus. Even though we're in the Midwest, there's 2 different demographics of people.
Cross town,
like every 2 blocks on freaking High Street is different. And so, like I said, the difference is like if, like for instance, when James Franklin got fired for Penn State, and if he gets hired by somebody else, you can go back and watch his track record of who he didn't hire for years because it's on tape. This business, you gotta let it. You gotta let the smoke clear because you just don't know what you're really looking for until you get the data.
Get in there,
and you're not gonna have legit data in for about 2 years. So you might be operating in the red for 2 years. You got to be able to handle that.
Right. And now one of the places I feel that sports has really helped me, and particularly in my business, is the being able to shift and change.
Pivot.
It took me a while to understand. Most people don't know how to do that because they ain't never had to lend themselves to those circumstances. I mean, heck, every day you come into the facility, every single series, every time you challenge, it's something different. And I've somewhat have underestimated that of people's ability to be able to do that, thinking that you can teach it. Not everybody can do those kind of things, man. And it's just I love seeing people like yourself. And surely, you know, we got a list of cats that have come out of football and start their own business, but their get down is a little bit different because of the lessons that surely that
That's
they
a
learn.
superpower that you
No
got.
doubt.
And a lot of people, like, even as people, and I say this to these people in these Fortune 500 companies, like, you got all these people, they think because these people got all these degrees that they really understand, which I've been trying to been denied from jobs because, oh, you haven't had the experience. But I'm probably smarter than everybody that you got in here, except for the CEO and all the people at the top. And that don't necessarily mean that they super smart neither. Ain't no, I don't know. I mean, they got a title, but that don't mean they really doing their job the way they say that they're doing it. Like, I had to break it down to somebody. Like I said, I think I was applying for a job, and I hate jobs. You know, I like working for myself. I just do. And the guy tried to tell me, well, you don't have any experience in that. I said, so you telling me, right? I got a book this big that I got to learn in 21 to 30 days by myself with pretty much no help, and the coach is going through it as fast as he can. And I got another man, I got to get ready to play on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. And I got to learn about this other team as fast as I can. But you're going to hold my hand for 60 to 121 days on a daily basis.
It's almost insulting.
Bro, I done made triple your salary in one weekend.
Right.
And you trying to tell me I can't come over here and do this for $20 an hour?
Right. Exactly.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
So when you sit down and you think about it, like, I'd rather struggle than go be a part of somebody else's organization that's gonna look down on me, micromanage, not really give me the tools that I really need to help me succeed. But once again, I don't think it's just, you just want me to work for you. So you don't really want me to succeed.
Right.
You just want me to work for you.
Yeah,
you just want me to work for you.
Exactly. Man, that's I do want to unpack. You said that you didn't regain your love for football until you got into the NFL and had some of those good experiences. Now, mine was the exact opposite. Once I got, because I got that team experience when I was at Michigan, playing for your comrades and all the like. So when I got to the pros, it was super difficult for me to get motivated because that sense of team was that was always my motivation. I felt like that rug was somewhat kind of pulled out from under me. When you talk about love for the game and you had lost your love for the game during your college years, but yet you were voted to be the captain of a national championship team. Unpack that a little bit for me. What kind of things? How did you? Well, let me ask first. And I have surely seen this happen. I would truly say, I was in the running to be a captain and really wanted to be. And seeing those votes go down. What was your kind of? Give me a feeling. Put me in the room of how that happened when you were voted captain.
Shoot, man, Dave. Honestly, it's gonna sound cocky, but it is what it is. I've been a captain ever since I was a little kid. I've been a captain on every level. And my mom and dad always used to tell me, bro, you got something in you that nobody else really has. Even my teammates now say it. They be like, bro, you got something in you, and you got to find a way to project it. You got to find a way to get it out there so people can actually see who you really are. And I've always been a guy I've always liked working with others to go dominate. That was just always my thing. I don't know, but like that since a kid. Even my best friend, we met in 4-year-old program and played ball together when we were 5 or 6. We still boys to this day. And I used to be the center, and he was a quarterback.
Okay.
Or if they took me from center, then I played guard or tackle. But coach would call a play, and I would be like, dude, don't run over there. We running over here. And he almost would score almost every single time or get a decent amount of yards. We could call it right there. Right here. Kurt was like, he'd tell me, like, and you would see us always playing. So like the team aspect has always just been in me.
Yeah.
Right. But I've always been a guy that, like we talked about, when there's a task that needs to be done, I'm not a pick me person. I'm just like, let's get this shit done so we can go on about our business. Like, let's go ahead and see let's press that threshold and go about it. But like when I got to college, man, I came in, I didn't listen to my dad. Rest in peace to my dad. And he told me, like, Kurt, stop lifting all those weights. Like, you need to get up. You're not a bodybuilder. You need to get out here and run more and work on your agility. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to the Big Ten. At this time, man, I'm watching John Clay run the football. I'm watching cats from Penn State run the football. I'm watching Boom Heron run the football. I got to get this strength up. Like, hey, what you talk about sound good, but you ain't got to talk to that 260-pound man. And, you know, so I came in, first of all, I came in overweight. But I think a false statement had got out throughout some news articles. And so when I got here, man, I was alone, man. I just felt like it was the linebackers and it was just Kurt. You know what I mean? It was just like nobody really wanted to fool with me. Okay. Except for a couple guys. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of, I felt like in my way, maybe now different. They might say different. I mean, all those guys talk to me now, but when I first got here, I don't know if it was the competition level. I don't know. Like I said, it was somebody, I think it was along the lines of, they asked me, was I going to be a starter when I got to Ohio State? I said, if the opportunity presents itself, who wouldn't want to start? You know what I mean? Right. And that's like actually any little kid. Like if you go into a prestigious university, like who wouldn't want to start? But I guess it made it. Whoever wrote it made it seem some type of way. Of course, they edited it. Yeah, man. And the guys came in, man. I swear, when I got here, man, I was like, it was like nobody wanted to work out with me. Like everybody looked at me different. Like I couldn't finish workouts. I was super tired. I was looking like a bust, and then I couldn't understand the playbook. I'm getting cussed out every other day. I just wasn't used to that. And I got to the point where it was like the game. I hated the game so much because it was like, man, like I've always worked hard. I ain't never had. It was just the environment of just being like talked to like you ain't worth nothing every day. And so now I'm feeling like anytime somebody say something to me, I'm ready to fight because it's like you playing with me at this point because now. I've never really been dealt with like that. I didn't even let my mom and dad yell at me like that growing up. So if they even yelled at me or did something, like they would be like talking to me, and I was just stare straight ahead, like you ain't talking to me. Like, check out. Checked out. Right. I was that kid, like, bro, you're not gonna keep yelling at me. Like either that or you go, we gotta see what's up. That's just how I've always been. Right. I don't know what it. Like I said, I'm thrown off. I'm gonna throw it off, and I got my butt whooped a lot because of that. But even, you know, you come up here and you think about the way the coaches would talk to you and yell at you.
How was Urban? How was it working for him?
Urban? I'm going to get to that. I'll get to that. So Urban really wanted the problems to me. Urban just set the foundation of what he wanted. And it was more so the guys that were trying to lead the ship that didn't understand what he wanted. And me, now that I'm an adult, like, yeah, Urban, I hear about it. Urban's a pain in the ass to work for. He was this and that. But if you really think about it psychologically, he had some good, it was messed up how he did it, but it works. It works. And I think a lot of times, and I say a lot of coaches that the coach for them, they ain't stand 10 toes. You know what I mean? Like they didn't stand 10 toes of understanding like, okay, I get what this grown man is saying. Once again, we're not looked at as athletes no more. We're looked at as just products once you get to college. You're just a product. They be like, no, you guys, we care about you guys. No, you don't. Stop telling lies. You're already on class 2028. You don't give a damn who came and did X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. Because if you did, you would treat us different. Right? So I wasn't used to coaches coaching me and not really nurturing and also teaching me your shit. This yours. Right. You created this playbook, not me. Right. Like this is your stuff. So when we get down to it, and it's just like you want to bring the best out of a player, you got to know how to connect with a player. Like I can yell at him because that's what he used to. But if you got a person that's like, I'm an analytical guy, I want to know what's going on. I have to see what's going on, and I process information different, so I know where I'm at and what I'm doing, and I know where I can go and what to do and what not to do. And it became to the point where I felt like I was just being programmed and not being able to play the game. Okay, And that only can come from the person. I'm not stupid. So you tell me, look, I get cut 6 times and I'm an NFL starter. That don't make sense. And listen, I didn't play at Ohio State like people think I played at Ohio State. I played less than 60 snaps and still was an NFL starter. So who was the problem? Okay. So make it make sense. So, but when we get around, let's get back to the story. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good.
Yeah, so I'll get back to it. So, but then you go through all 3 years of that. Like, coach, can we watch film? Hey, coach, can we do this? Hey, coach, can we do that? I ain't got time. You start seeing your coach in there with other athletes. They spending time with them. They start doing this. They start doing that. And then you start feeling like shit, you don't belong. Like, you don't want to keep going to that. Then it's like, oh, you being soft. Then it's like, essentially, I'm not being soft. I just don't feel like I'm a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this one kid. He's still my little bro to this day. I don't care how much money he make, what he do. Raekwon. We always tell his brotherhood story that, when he come, people don't know, but my class recruited that whole national championship team.
Okay.
So all them guys that everybody was seeing, them guys were in my house. We was throwing parties. We was cooking Sunday dinner. I ain't talking about like we was fried chicken, macaroni, cheese, jam, cornbread. Them guys coming up like, y'all cooking? We grilling on the grill, ribs, pork chops, steaks, burgers, bro. We used to.
I know Urban talks about that in his book.
He
credits you and
me, Duran, Chase Ferris, Braxton, Devin.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ryan was gone. Ryan had some parts to do with it, but majority of those big name players was with us.
Right.
We recruited that team.
Exactly.
So we made them guys feel like home. Like, bro, like we didn't have to incentivize you with a whole bunch of women or money or drinking, bro. We just showed y'all genuine love. And a couple of guys, they continued I don't know what they do now, but I know for years they continued it after us. But I had made a commitment to Raekwon. I know they wanted him to take my spot, but I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to make it challenging. So I taught him the playbook. I wouldn't let coaches get on him the way they got on me. Like, coach, man, man, 18 years old. He don't know what he don't know. We done been in here going through hell for 4 years. He just now learning. So I would compete against him. We would go back and forth on anytime we got it. But when it's time to learn, we learn together.
Right.
Me, Josh Perry, Darren Lee, Chris Worley, Raekwon, Cam, and all. We created that room because for the longest, bro, anytime linebackers did anything, I would never show up. I won't go and watch film with them. I won't kicking in with them. I won't go to eat with them. I won't do it. I said, bro, when y'all get out the facility, y'all can come holler at me. Now, I'm the oldest in the room at this time.
Okay.
But I had made a commitment. Anything I tell you I'm going to do, I'm always stand 10 toes on it. So this boy coming up from Georgia to Columbus, Ohio, he coming from the backwoods, red clay, red dirt, sticks and stuff. He don't know nothing about the city of Columbus. So I'm like, I remember that. I don't come from that, but I remember coming up here feeling alone. You know what I mean? So, man, I would do my best to teach him the playbook. Yeah. So now when we competing, it's a level playing field. Sure. I ain't just winning starting job because he ain't know what he's doing. I think that's some sucker stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I ain't never been a sucker. I ain't gonna never be one.
You've seen dudes sabotage.
I've seen other dudes sabotage guys. So that took a part, and I would get the team together, man, and then they voted me as captain. Okay. My peers, I remember days at Ohio State. I was the last one to get picked. Like the last out of 100 and something. Walk-ons getting picked before me. Okay. People, I remember them days. People don't talk about it. Yeah. But I remember those days, and all of a sudden,
all they see is the shine. They don't stay.
They see the shine, but now they don't remember the first like 10 games we playing. Where I remember coach taking me out because he would tell me I would know the information, but you just trying to let Raekwon get the reps. Just say that. I remember I would start the game, and then they would put me in the end of the game for cleanup, mop-up duty. But then once we come to the playoffs, all of a sudden we need your leadership. Now I'm the best leader of all that damn time. And it's like, bro, this has been me the whole time, but you only notice me because now I'm doing something for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You ain't now when I needed you, because granted, my dad died doing college, my grandpa died doing college. I remember people lying to me to get me back up here just to go to practice.
Right, man. That's
just to go to practice. And then I'm from Virginia, so that's a 7.5, 8 hour drive. When you coming back to go to practice, we gotta get ready for the game. Get ready for a game.
And to me, those are many of the stories that young athletes need to hear. That it ain't gonna be smooth sailing all the time.
No.
A saying that Lloyd Carr was one of my favorite coaches ever at any level. And particularly at Michigan. And we got all kind of go. One of the things that he would always say is that, look, I didn't start to understand that until I got older in college. Look, there are going to be times where you want to quit. Wait a minute, time I called you a minute that want to quit. As long as you decide to stick it out one extra time, then you decide to quit.
Yeah.
You right on pace.
Yes, sir.
And it takes some experience to understand that. What do you feel like motivated you in those down moments to keep on going?
I made a commitment to this young brother right here. I ain't had it. Listen, honestly, Dave, I ain't really have nobody. Since my dad died, my grandparents died, I've been on this journey by myself. Until I met guys like Chuck. Then we ended up meeting through Chuck. Then my Uncle G out east. But like far as caliber of older guys, I ain't really never met a real OG before. Outside of sports. Most of the guys, but you don't, like, people don't know how much we really talk in that 45 minutes. The stuff that we talk about in 45 minutes, I know you probably be like, what's up with that young brother? Like,
nah, bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not even touching the surface of what we talk about.
Because we get cut off, but surely, and I'm sure you can identify it, there's a certain way that I can talk to you as a black male, as an athlete, as a person who's struggling, as a business owner. There are certain things, as a father,
uncle,
there
whatever.
are certain things that you're checking boxes that somebody else that I talk to may not have all those boxes checked. So surely, I tell people all the time, a mentoring OG circumstances goes both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
You learning and giving at the same time. So, surely, and by the same token, being wired the way that you are, you're similar to me in that my motivations often came from making sure everybody else is taken care of. Being able to do it like that. So I totally get that. Hey, all right, for me all day, I'm going to be lazy. I ain't going to do it. If I got to do it for my mama,
we talk about the carrot, right? But you got to stop doing that. But
true that.
We're going to get on that in a second. But what I'm learning is, and I just, at the time, man, I really felt like that nobody really have my back in that aspect to understand what I was going through. And it wasn't for my cousin to understand, my best friend to understand, this, that, and the third, because they were going through the same thing, but just on a different spectrum of things. And so when I told him, I said, bro, you come here, I'm going to always be your big bro. And that's just what it is. Like, I've always stood on that. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I did it. So that's what created that energy. So next thing you know, man, I'm a captain. And, I'm playing, I'm doing well, but I never understood how I was a captain. It's kind of an illusion for me. I never understood how I was a captain, but still was getting treated like, I felt like less than. Like, anytime I would do good, I felt like it was like coach would never let me just have that to build my confidence. Like, I'm coming off a Virginia Tech game. We played Virginia Tech. Our Navy game, that was always going to be a difficult game. They running options it up, man. Like, you might not. Yeah. It's a whole different ball game. Most of the people on the outside make all the plays for real. Man, we played Virginia Tech, man. I got 13 tackles, 2 TFLs, a pass breakup. And I ended up catching a stinger. My little bro going in the game. He balling. I'm happy for him.
Right.
I ain't hating on him. I'm cheering for him. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if we switching, that's a good thing. Another thing our class did, we always made sure the young guys knew what they was doing. Because if anything was to happen, we can get in, we won't miss a beat.
Right.
And that's what made that team that won that championship deadly. Everybody knew what they was doing.
Okay.
And we kept it simple. None of that, nothing in here is going to be complex. This is our ship. That's how we run it. Y'all can dictate certain things, but we're not playing all them coverages, coach. We're going to get good at what we do. And until that fails, people don't know. We ran one coverage in base defense.
I bet.
Cover 4.
Exactly.
We ran covers. And then, we ran base, and then we were jumping our third down packages. That's when we really had fun.
Yeah.
But the base we ran, man, or cover 4. That was it. Could nobody stop it. We had a crazy D-line. We had athletes all the way around. And everybody knew what they was doing. And so, like, I had just made that commitment to it, and to him. And I know what it felt like to be lonely, to be left out, feel like don't nobody want you to be a part of something. And it's like, dude, you've been picked first your whole life. And now it's like, you suck it up, bro. It's part of the game. And it's like, bro, we got feelings too, man.
Right.
We got feelings too. So from that aspect, and you know what I'm learning too, when I tell you we got to stop doing it for the carrot, is that's the way we've been programmed. That's another thing. We've only been taught to operate off of two emotions, provide and protect. But you're more of just a provider and a protector, man.
Right.
You got a lot of great attributes that we don't get to talk about as men because society has conformed us to be in these two categories. I am smart. I am a provider. I am a protector. I do have emotions. I do love. I do have a nurturing spirit. Right. But if you put me in a box just to be over here in this one to two spaces, you done cut off all the other 10 to 12 things that I got that makes me great.
Okay.
But then we get mad and we say, these people aren't filling us up. But we didn't put ourselves in what society didn't put us in. And now we're not filling our own stuff up because we're trying to do the two carrot thing, to provide or protect.
Right.
No, we can't do that no more.
You're right.
We can't do that no more. And it's like, hey, baby, listen. If you're not going to do what I need you to do, fill me up. You got to go. Hey, don't keep calling me and ask me for no money. And when I ask you to come over here just to sit down and watch the game with me, you can't show up. Simple stuff. Like we don't ask for much. Right. We already just told you we provide and protecting.
Don't need much.
We don't need much. I just want you to acknowledge me. Scratch my head. Make me feel like I can take my cape off when I come in the house. For anybody, kids, your best friend, your mom and your auntie. Like, bro, that's another thing in our community you talked about, man. We always trying to save the world because we get thrown into the fire so early. Well, you got to have a suit on to go to the job interview. You got to have your haircut. Well, you got to talk funny. You got to code switch. You got to do this. You got to do that. And it's like, bro, God, Dad, can I just be me?
Okay.
I like the color. Okay. All right, let me go color for a few minutes. Like, ain't nothing wrong with him coloring.
Right.
He cool. He not soft because he like the color. Like,
right.
Let me go. Let me listen to some jazz music. Let me go play the piano. Let me go for a walk. Oh, that's not masculine love. Like, bro, what is masculine?
Right. What does that mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean? Exactly. It take a male and a female to create each other. So we gonna get
to conform to what you think that is. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You understand?
Oh, put that down for a different episode. We gonna talk. We gonna talk. Yeah, we gonna talk about it. Well, I've been working on a book for the last 15 years. Eventually, I'm going to complete it. But what it's called is the man lie. It's more of a reflection of all the things that society is teaching us to be a man and how that is contrary to what being a man actually is. But that's, like I said, that's
man. We can get into all that's history. That's we're breaking it down. And
come on,
yeah.
But changing subject a little bit. Speaking of homes and circumstances and situations, I'm just asked the straight question. This is late November. Early November, we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting to late November. Now, I know me personally. I can be a social being. I like people. I'm out in the community, things like that. There's one time where I know I am not suitable for public consumption, and that is on the morning of the Ohio State Michigan game. Now, contrary to most people believe, we actually get along with Ohio State players all the time. There's none of this animosity or hate or that going on, except for on that day.
Yep.
Now, I know with me, for that game, it's a lockdown. I ain't going to the game. I'm sitting in the same space, superstitious about it, with the same people around me in order. What is that day like for you? And reflect a little bit on the rivalry and some of your thoughts on it.
You know, that rivalry was so bad that if I had a Michigan teammate, I hated them. Yeah. You understand what I'm talking about? Like, you know, Big Taylor Lewan.
Of course, yeah.
So I think that was one of the first people that who was actually a Michigan player that I was on the team with. And I'm like, I hate this dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about him, right? I hate this dude, man. I'm sitting over in the corner like, if I ever get the chance, smoke him. Right. Like we game banging or something. Like we on some type of movie where it's like, I got it in the car for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it come down to it, bro. It's like, he really a cool dude. Like he really like, then it's like, you take that. I mean, we got stuff. It's time for war. You got LL Cool J playing. We got Michigan jerseys we step on. And he got the jerseys of You know, I mean, we even hitting the scout team players overly aggressive, boom, smoking them just, and you talk. I mean, here we go, programming. You're taught to hate this team so much, and then it's like you realize, like when you get into the league, you still gonna have the rivalry, right? And it still becomes serious when you're in their environment. If you're not in an environment, you just like, okay, well, it's Ohio State versus Michigan, whatever. I'm gonna got to fight with a Michigan person one time, in Buffalo Wild Wings. That was crazy. We'll talk about that another day. But you know, you got it, but then sometimes you just take it too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes a little bit too serious. But if I'm at the game, then it's like, nah, forget that, woo, woo, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm at the house, I'm chill. Like I'm just like, hey, we better win. But it is a feeling though. When you do lose, though, whoever loses, I'm talking about, man, that's like the day is dark for about 2 weeks. Like when I'm talking cloudy, like when we lost last year, you could not convince me that Ohio State was gonna win that national championship. After the game, you could not. I'm like, bro, ain't nowhere in the world. But then once again, we don't know what's going on. That could have been strategy.
Right.
It could have been strategy.
Surely got that luck. Now, I would contest that Ohio State doesn't win the national championship if they win that game.
Oh no, I don't think so.
That just hearing the stuff that came out of that locker room after that game, and they definitely won the national championship within the hour after that.
But I think that was the what we needed. It's always that one thing of what you need to spark a team late in the season, because you know that season get long. That season's incredibly long. We waiting for a bye week. You know, everybody you done beat in 40 different teams. Right. Well, not 40 different teams, but like, you know, so many different plays and how you want to do things. You got to scheme up stuff, because people don't understand, like, you're not just scheming. Like when you're scheming a football team, you're scheming for the whole year. You have to go back and watch where you messed up, when you messed up, who gonna pick up on that, who watching this type of call, what type of base they're gonna be. It's just a lot of stuff that people just don't understand.
They don't understand.
They just don't understand. It's a lot of stuff too. But as long as I'm in my controlled environment, I'm good. But it's when, you know, like if we're at the game and, you know, obviously drinking gets involved. They drink at them games. They drink at them games. That's when it usually get out of hand. But like I said, it still bothers me when we lose, but I ain't to the point where I'm about to just go.
It ain't affecting your work on Monday.
No. I'm still gonna get that paper on Monday. I might sit there with my helmet on, my mouthpiece and rocking back and forth like.
Now, in defensive cast, we got quicker memories than most, but I'm always amazed that just out in public, you know, just people, their visceralness. And they're surprised that players.
They keep chomping at the bit.
Actually, we do business together. We go out to have fun together, all the things.
I mean,
that day. But
sure, I've done more business with opposite players than opposing team players than I've done with my own players.
Exactly, man.
You know, the own brotherhood.
Exactly. But and surely, you know, particularly in the Big Ten, but anybody that I've ever run into who I would consider has played quality football, that means for a championship coach or for a big program. There are many of those common denominators that we tend to use later in life for your success, or heck, just being able to open doors for you. I know if this guy has played D1 soccer, he wired different than the ordinary Joe that is just been studying things like that. In your hiring practices at work, how does your career factor into that, or do you look for a certain kind of employee that you absolutely know is going to get it done?
Well, you know, that's kind of like drafting. When you're in, everybody looks good on paper. Everybody puts up good numbers on paper, but when we put you in this high-paced environment, can you excel? I mean, a lot of people that we have hired have done pretty good, but you know, when on our type of business, our pay scale is a little bit different. So that also attracts a different type of person. And for a person to come into our business, it's kind of got to be bred into you. And if it's not bred into you, you have to be willing to take the coaching to be able to get to where you need to go. A lot of people just look at it, well, what I do is just a juice and smoothie bar. It's just a juice. It's just a smoothie. But I'm one of those people. I tell anybody that encounters and we cross paths, I said it's just not that, because at the end of the day, you're learning skills that you're gonna have to use for the rest of your life, regardless if you believe it or not. You're only 15, you're only 16. You're only your first year in college. What you're doing at 18, 19 is not what you're going to be doing at 20, 23.
No, hopefully.
Hopefully. And if you are doing that, then you're a problem. So I think right now, goes back to what I said. The younger ladies that work for us, to me, are better than men. They're way more detailed. They're way more personable. They're way more outspoken and willing to learn and not really complain. It's the guys that's really complaining a lot. I never understood that. I had a couple of employees that was just like, hey man, we got to talk. We got to be men. You have to be able to let your voice project so people understand. We're not even we're understanding you, but also be confident into what you're essentially selling them. Even though it's a smoothie, but you have to tell them the benefits of the product and make them feel comfortable coming back. You can't be, and people looking at you like, what are you like? I don't want to be a part of this. So, I try not to make it a micromanaging situation, but sometimes with certain employees, you have to, because they just don't have the mental capacity to understand, like, these are the boundaries. You can't cross this boundary.
Or never been taught that.
I've never been taught that. And so when you first come in there, it's foreign to some of them. So I have to, sometimes I dial it back, because I'm really not a corporate person. I pretend to be, but my wife is more corporate. So I kind of let her lead a little bit more. And I just kind of speak more life into her as I'm learning to be more corporate, because I'm football. Bleep, 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 bleep,
Exactly.
And everybody's like,
reacted to right. Yeah,
so I'm like,
a lot of people they ain't ready for it. One of the early conversations that we had, where I really started to figure out how you were wired, was exactly about that. It was just about how oftentimes in our times of excitement, or if we're passionate about something, the type of intensity that shows itself in the same way football, most people ain't ready for that. And surely I still to this day have incidents in my life where I've got to dial that back and rebarometer the way that I'm messaging in order for a person to understand it, because it's over top. How much struggle do you feel like you have in self-checks, or having the barometer, or like, I know some cats, they just, hey, this is who I am. I'm not watering it down for anybody. Well, that's all good. That may not be the best strategy you want to use in all cases. Has that been a struggle for you? What areas do you feel like you've got to correct your messaging in order to get it ready for the recipient?
That goes back to tone and perspective.
Okay.
Very tone. I'm learning life is about tone and perspective. Being in that environment, you just say whatever, whenever, and people just respond to it. But out in the regular world, you like me, I call it the regular world, because football is just sports, not just football. Sports in general is its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, everybody pretty much is going through like the same thing. And I say that to say, like, even now how I communicate with my wife, she gets mad at me because I joke all the time. But that's all I've been doing my whole life. We say things like, for instance, like, she'll get sick and I'll be like, I need to put your ass in a bubble because you don't need to be going outside. And she'll be like, babe, why can't you just say, hey, I noticed that you're a little sick. Maybe we should go to CVS or walk. So now I'm like, it's to the point I talk so much trash. My kids wake up talking trash. They wake up, look at your big forehead. Your breath stink. You got a fat belly. You a big bat. And I'm just like, damn, I done created these little monsters. But I don't see nothing wrong with it, because that's what I've been. And even being in the driving my semi, like, we get on it, all the guys, we get in a circle, we talk junk to each other, we get on the CB, talk trash to each other. And that's just what we do. And next thing I know, it's 5 or 6 o'clock. They on with.
Okay, yeah.
Because we didn't play it all day. We didn't. Yeah, we got paid, but we didn't play it all day. But I am learning to be a little bit more professional. But I'm still gonna be me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In certain situations that I have to be,
Man,
yeah, I have to be,
certain places
yeah.
you can't
We call it
compromise
code
that.
switching. Yeah.
Yeah.
In some situations, you just gonna have to code switch, and that's one thing I was reading about in UOU by Eric Thomas, the
Yeah.
hip hop preacher. He talks about him code switching. It was like, hey, I would come in and give a different message, but I'm not changing the way I dress. I'm called ET, the hip hop preacher, for a reason. I wear a ball cap, I wear Jordans, I wear basketball shorts, and I wear a t-shirt. This is my presentation. This represents from where I'm from, because he says the difference between going to the hood talking to people
I can change my
and
message, but
yeah,
I ain't gonna change my presentation.
exactly. I can change my message.
That'll preach right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But so, well, actually, I'm not changing my appearance, but I can
Gotcha.
change my tone of how I talk to you, because I can't talk to a football team the way I'm gonna go talk to nationwide corporate, because they're not gonna understand that language.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
two different languages.
Right.
You know, a lot of us in our culture, we talking Ebonics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can finna go. And you gonna be like, oh yeah, I got you. I see you there at 7:30, and everybody else is like, what you just say? What did he say? Like, or you could just be like, hey,
It's funny because
yeah.
sometimes we'll get in that mode. We may be talking about something that we don't necessarily want the crowd to
Right.
So it's funny. We'll go straight into Ebonic mode,
Yeah.
just to talk over their heads, and so they don't understand.
You still got that this evening?
Right.
You like?
I've literally had people walk up to me a time or two, you know, somebody I'm familiar with that's in that camp, and say, "You understood exactly what I said?" Yeah.
What's wrong?
What's the problem?
No.
You knew what all that meant? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Well, because we didn't want you to understand.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's some of the things that I reflect upon, man. It's just it's a comfort for me, and it gives me a bit of a peace to be in contact with folks that have been on a similar the struggles, the understanding where I'm coming from, understanding, you know, having because most of society just don't have that. And you know, surely, you know, I've seen you talk to young men. You know, I've seen the example that you've set not only for yourself, for other people there, but even when you bring your kids in, and just the number one, the discipline that they have says everything about, to me, how they're being parented, the respect that they show to other individuals. You reflect a little bit on how you learned that from the previous generation. We commonly get in these places of evaluating how we were raised and some of the negative stuff and some of the positive stuff. What are some of the things you felt like you had to cut out of your parenting that were practiced on you from a parenting standpoint? I know I've got mine.
So a couple things, like I'll tell anybody this. I tell my mom and daddy to their faces that's right here. They won't really love me like you think that you should be loved. Like they was just two individuals just living together.
Okay,
like you know what I'm saying. So I'll tell my mama that I ain't got no problem telling nobody. That's just my story.
Sure.
You know, my parents weren't really affectionate. Like my mom is not affectionate. But now I understand why she's not affectionate after talking to her, because she was raised like a boy. So my mom out in the country, sticks. She feeding all the animals. She got a wheelbarrow, taking 50-pound bags of dog food to the dog pen, feeding the horses.
Right.
So
right.
She won't really like I still to the day I don't even know how she had kids. Like I tell her that all the time. Like I'm like, Mom, how you had kids? Like, did Dad drug you? Or like, cause you ain't really over the top.
It feel like you was feeling
like that. Yeah, like what happened? Like what happened? But that's just serious. Like I'm serious. So I mean, I grew up like that, and so like I've always had some type of love, just showing love by just doing action things, like go and handle this business over here, maybe cutting the grass or doing some stuff like that. But it really wasn't until like I really understood what like love really was until I met my wife. Like I had a girlfriend in high school, but I couldn't see none of the stuff that she was trying to do. I saw it, but it didn't register because just young. I'm 15, 16 years old. Like, but it wasn't to like, as far as like making a house like really warm and understanding. like what was going on. It wasn't until I met my wife, because my wife, my wife, she cool, like she's just real chill. And then it's like I'm the one that's always on 10, but then she's non-combative, and then you know what I'm saying, you start going off the hook, and she's just standing there looking at you like you stupid. And you like, am I stupid for real? And it's like, hold on, let me dial it back just a little bit. Yeah, she's not giving it any energy. So, when she stopped doing that, then it started to be like, okay, once again, perspective, tone. Starting to watch all these other videos about how men are talking about they're going through the same things that I'm going through, be based off of their circumstances and how they were raised. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know you know Jason Wilson, the black guy with the big beard that he talks about, got the martial arts out in Detroit.
Right.
He was the first person that I came encounter to on YouTube with when I was driving over the road. And he was talking about how aggressive he used to be and how he used to scare his wife because he was just so aggressive. But those are all from the circumstances and stuff that he's grown up with. And nobody really corrected it. Nobody really saw a problem with it. Right. Now you're dealing with somebody else's daughter that now you're in love. Now you're scaring the person that you love. And I was like, okay, well, that's a box that I need to work on. Boom, let me check that. So guys like Jason Wilson, and started watching him. I watched him for a long time, and then I started, looking at different preachers. But that's another story. I had to kind of wash them out because that wasn't, really dialing into what I needed to dial into. We'll talk about that in
episode 4.
Episode 4. So we'll start talking about that. But he's made a big impact, and I just been around other good guys. And then, it's always when I go on my fast, then I started getting way more mental clarity. And I started reading this year, and I just started taking the YouTube videos and Kurt Franklin's Den of Kings. That's helping me a lot right now. I read The Superior Man this year. I'm going to find me another book to read. But now I'm just finding just different males that go through stuff that's similar, that's helping me unwind. Deprogram what I've already been programmed. And so now, like when it comes to my kids, I hug and kiss my boys and girls, not just my girl, because I'm understanding that we're never really speaking to the adult side of people. We're always speaking to that little boy or little girl in people. And then the main stage that we'll always have, like the guy said the other day I forgot his name. His name is, on Dr. J's podcast, he said the biggest stage you're going to ever have is your wife and kids. So if I'm going to perform, I better perform great for them, to give them exactly what they need, because that's your biggest support system. Okay. Because if not, I'm creating traumas for my babies that when they get older, and it's like, my son ain't going to be like, no, I'm just going to be provide and protect. It might be to the point where my son is so emotionally intelligent, it might scare some people. I don't want it that way. Sure. I don't want you dragging anybody along to feel like you got to be a part of this so-called marriage or so-called thing that we call life, that you have to do it with somebody. Yes, God has designed it for us to do that, but it's not necessarily mean you're going to be married to somebody to do that with. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be okay with certain circumstances. And that's why you see now a lot of men of stature that are starting to understand to get emotional intelligence. They're by themselves. They're by themselves because like God told you told us to go do all this work now. And now we've caught up to get in our emotions. We're like, oh, we don't need that. That ain't working for me. Okay. That's more of a headache than it is than fulfilling my cup. You understand what I'm saying? So I take those main things is showing my kids a lot of love. Yeah, man. Giving them a hug every day. Yeah. Even if they get a whooping, I still hug my boy. Boy or girl. Come here, I hold them, squeeze them tight. I love you. But I always tell my kids that you got to understand. Eventually, I'm not gonna whoop them. I have to whoop them now because they got to understand. They have to pay attention. I want you to get here. It's not so I can bring you down mentally. I always want to empower your brain. I never want you to feel less than. I always want you to feel strong, confident, vibrant. Wherever you go, when you walk in those rooms, like the reports that we get from the teachers, it's like sometimes we just let her, like my daughter, we just let her go to the office by herself. She comes back. She's my little helper. She does this. She does that. But that's great. But now after you get a certain age, I'm gonna teach you we ain't people pleasing.
Okay.
You understand?
Right, right.
You do that because you've taught to be good, but now that could get into another trauma of people pleasing. You know what I mean? So now that I know we're not people pleasing, it's okay to say no. And even now, I let my kids say whatever. Some people are like, why you let your kids say that? Because now, if I don't let them say whatever and I don't correct them on what to say and how to say it, tone and perspective, now when they get in the room, they sitting over there like this. They didn't had the best idea, but now they scared to speak up for themselves. Right. And we don't know as people, like our brains pick up on that stuff. Like we talk about, it's only so many times that that your brain, it's just a big memory break that you're not gonna just pick up on stuff. And you wonder, like, man, I don't speak up no more. Where you got to go back and be like, what happened to you in your life that caused you to keep your mouth shut? Was it that time when that a grown folks' business? Shut your mouth. Da 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 da. Don't talk to unless I talk to you. And it's like, okay, but those are how how we grew up. Like,
Of course.
I probably ain't have it as bad as you had it, but my mom was my parents were still Southern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why you sitting here while grown folks talking? I mean, that's probably the best place to be right now. I can learn something. I can learn something. You shouldn't be talking about that anyway during the day, not unless y'all go outside with that.
Kids are to be seen, not heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then you wonder why we want to take the back seat and not be in the forefront. That's all learned behavior.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say. Oh, no, I disagree. But, bro, you think about it. You keep putting people in those environments. You keep shunning them. What you expect them to do? Exactly. So I always want my kids to be good leaders, good vibrant. They ain't got to be multi-millionaires to be something. I just want you to be the best you can be without feeling less than and walking into these office buildings and this illusion that you got to be this and that. No, you don't. I mean, like my wife told me yesterday, I don't like your outfit. I told her I usually go change. I told her I don't care. That's me. That's what I'm putting on today. I got compliments all day yesterday. I had compliments all day yesterday. I'm doing me today. You know what I'm saying? God, and they talking about doing another one at 1:30. I was like, oh, we good.
I think that's everything I needed to get out.
You sure?
Yeah, but
we got more episodes.
Of course, we got more episodes. This won't be the last.
But the OG and the young G, because we always talk about we don't have no OGs. You one of the rarest OGs out here, Dave.
I appreciate that.
That bar is pouring into it, and I mean giving great perspective, not no perspective where it's like well, just go read your Bible, go pray, and maybe no, it's really like, nah, man, look at this, and like, I mean, I come in, I talk to you about marriage, how you feel as a man, you're emotionally on the roller coaster, like, but we talk about a lot of stuff. And I know I done asked you some questions. You be like, dang, bro, I got a couple. How old are you again? I got a couple of years. But I'm experienced. I'm experienced.
And oftentimes, one of the things I love about you, I have a small group of people in that will ask me a question in a way that makes me, that's the first time I thought about it. Ask me in a way that's the first time I've actually consciously reflected upon. It's all in there.
Yeah.
But I'm ripping it from the top, just how I'm thinking about it, just how no filter, none of that. And I think that I hope that more people have those kind of relationships where I ain't got to protect nobody's feelings. We can be 100% real, have an understanding on it, getting your arguments, your barroom arguments, your times when you agree and all that stuff. I just think that that's a healthy way, and it helps all parties involved because at the end of the day, what we do want to do particularly as representatives of our community, as men that are raising families, is not be hampered by all that other stuff. We need to be 100% who we're gonna be.
Yeah, got to.
Without those.
It's all programming.
Absolutely.
It's all programming.
And from a mental health standpoint, man, you have surely helped me. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You helped me too. Why you think I try to get 3 days a weekend? We gotta get 3 days a weekend.
Iron sharp as iron, one hand washes the other. That is the good nature of these kind of relationships. So man, I appreciate your hustle, your get down, your perspective, your challenges.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hey, out there, man.
All right.
We got a lot of stuff.
So yeah, absolutely, man. We will keep that going, but ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Curtis Grant. It won't be the last time you see him. We have to figure it out. We're gonna have to do a few more of these, and we're gonna dial down and get into a little bit more
to the bottom
debatable,
of it.
controversial subject. No doubt.
You know it. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, brother.